Welcome back to the crypt. I hope you're ready for this next coming year. I certainly feel both really excited to start the new year, and I also feel not worried, but just there's a lot for me to do next year. And although I'm really excited, it's also pretty daunting because some of the stuff I'm doing next year, most of the stuff I'm doing next year, I've never really done before. So if you haven't seen it already, I'll link it up above. I have a trailer out for the editing project that I am starting next year. I'm really excited about that project, but it is the first time I'll be editing something so huge. So it is definitely going to be a learning experience. If you want to follow my journey on doing that, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you're notified as soon as those videos go live. But for today, I am going to be planning for January. So I actually had the idea of doing this particular spread last year, but I wanted to save it for the new year. I wanted to save it for January and my new bullet journal because I knew I would want to use some paint medium, and my older journal was way too thin of a paper type to handle that. So I'm really happy with the outcome. Although looking back, I probably should have put down a base color for the moon first and then layered the gold on top of that to get more of an opaque color. It still looks really nice. It's just not clear, like it's not quite as shiny as I would like, but it's still pretty shiny. This is a lot of scrapbooky kind of looks for this particular month. In my last video about reflections, I did mention how certain pages will probably be getting bigger. I'll go ahead and link that video up in the cards above. I was reflecting on what needed to be changed in my journaling for next year. I like how this page turned out quite a lot, actually. There's plenty of room for me to write without things getting cramped, which is one of my challenges, actually. I have this thing where I don't want to waste paper, so what I'll do is I will cram stuff into every single nook and cranny, and it makes it very difficult for me to actually utilize it. So I'm trying to pull back and allow myself to have spreads that might have a lot in them, but also have quite a bit of blank space so my brain can process it. Now, my calendar spread, you remember that, like, there's a lot and I don't want to waste space? Yeah, that came in full force on this. I think it's a really interesting setup. I'm interested to see if this setup actually works for me. I tried to keep everything that was calendar related in only one spot, so it's all in one centralized location. So it's easy to flip to and it's easy to flip between. Because before I had goals separated from my lunar calendar and such, so it was kind of hard to make connections. Now everything's right here, so it's a lot easier to see everything. I don't know how useful this is going to be in practicality, so we're just gonna have to see if this actually works out long term. But it was worth a shot, and I do like how it visually looks. I think for my brain, it looks very logical, but we'll see how practical it actually is in practice. Because it's one thing for it to look like it's going to work, and a whole nother thing for it to actually operate. The thing I'm worried about with this calendar the most is I'm actually concerned about the memory log being used or not. And the reason for that is because I have never used a memory log before. I did have one dead week in November where I truly do not remember a week, like an entire week of my life is gone. So I am a little concerned, and I do want to keep logs, but the problem is, will I actually write stuff down every day? It's very difficult for me to get routines down, so we're just gonna have to see whether or not that actually works for me. I also am giving extra space for my moon readings as well. This will also give me room to actually review the aftermath. Currently, my journals do not have space for that, so I kind of have to force it into the weeklies, which was a bit cramped, so hopefully this will give me a little bit of extra room. And then we have week 1. As I mentioned in that reflections video, I will no longer be prepping multiple weeks, just week 1. That then gives me the ability to have a task list, a rolling task list, and it will also give me the space to do a day log if I need to. Either no day logs at all or multiple day logs as needed. So I have plenty of room and the option to do that if I so desire. And that's it. It's not too complicated. The most complicated page is definitely that calendars page. It's a lot of information, and yet it's all very similar information, so I hope it works, but we'll just have to see. I'm really happy with the overall results. All of these are pages that I should use. The only one that's questionable is the memory log, but we'll just have to see if that actually works or not. And if it doesn't, I'll just not use it next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing start of your year.